Today we got with this Jordan Lawlar. The dude's just an absolute boss. 2021, 6th overall MLB draft pick. Man, what a way to start your career, Jordan.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for hopping on the show, man. We appreciate it. And definitely looking forward to learning a little bit more about you and just how your career started. And it's just such an inspiring, motivating story. And you definitely have a good head on your shoulders. So we appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. No problem. Glad to be here.
Let's start it off at the very beginning. A 5-year-old Jordan playing some baseball. That's when it all started, huh?
It did. 5 or 6. Mom took me in the back. So we set up a screen, you could say. Had a little plastic tee, and you just put the Dick's Sporting Goods baseballs on the tee. And we got to work. So we did that. And then on top of all the other sports she put me in. But we definitely enjoyed that time in the backyard together.
Do you still have them? Because that's not all that long ago.
You're
still a young dude.
Still. I have the screen, yeah. The pegs to stand it up, they don't work as well anymore. Kind of falling apart. We had to get creative with the Gorilla Glue, all that. But yeah, we still have it.
Amazing. I had one of those Tony Gwynn, I forget what it's called, but growing up, it was like a fence or net and a ball that was attached to a string. I got to get the name of it. It was so cool, but we had it in the backyard, but now not living at home and having the house anymore, we don't have it. But it's those like little things and those little memories that you have. So it's so cool that you still have them to this day.
Yeah, and she used to save all my gloves as well. So she has that, and she tries to keep everything if she can. So we have a little closet with it.
And you also played a lot of basketball too. So was there a lot of pickup games going on in the driveway or in the backyard?
At a younger age, I convinced her to put a smaller basketball hoop in the house. There may have been some broken items, but yeah, so we put like a 9-foot, 8.5-foot, 9-foot hoop in the just kind of the opening, and we would kind of go at it right there, carpet, tile, and then we go out to the park and play together.
Dude, so you're able to get the hoop into the house.
It's a tight one in there. Yeah.
That's a dream, man.
There's some dinged up walls, and some paint off the walls, but yeah.
You got a lot of fun throwback videos that we might be seeing on Instagram, like some trick shots and whatnot from that hoop.
Yeah, we tried. There's one trick shot I tried to do from the front door, and she advised me not to do, and she was right in that mind, and I may have taken out some of the chandelier. So she had a good reason for that.
Was that the accident that you were pointing towards at the beginning of this?
Yeah, that was one of them. Yeah.
I was just talking with Jason Kendall. He was in the big leagues for a long time, a former MLB All-Star, and he was saying how when he was growing up, he played a ton of ping pong just because like that was a sport that he loved and it helped him with his hand-eye coordination. And we were kidding around about things like ceiling tiles that could have been broken and whatnot. But hey, man, as long as you have fun, why not?
Yeah, we actually had one as well. And there was another chandelier over that one. So it got in the way every now and then. But when I was younger, she'd play with her left hand just because I wasn't as good. But once I figured out how to spin the ball, it was game over for her.
Dude, did you do the serves where you kind of put the paddle like over the ball to kind of get that extra spin?
Yeah, there was ton of different serves I tried to do. And then like the flat one where you toss it up and cut it underneath like the pros do. It works every now and then, every 1 in 10. But when it does, it's special.
Yeah, no, I used to do that with my buddies Brandon and Joey, and dude, we used to sweat so much in the basement. If you get that serve down, you could piss off a lot of people.
You can, for sure. For sure.
All right, so basically what I've gotten so far is that whenever you get your own house, do not have a low-hanging chandelier. Bad idea.
Yeah, try to limit the chandeliers. Have some lights in the ceiling or something. Forget the chandeliers.
All right, so your mom, huge role model. So is your grandfather, but your mom, you guys have such a special relationship. And we've had guys on the show and they've kind of shared their stories about their relationships with their mom, like Jack Flaherty, and just how instrumental they've been in their development from being a young kid into maturing into a young man and then obviously into an adult. And that's definitely been the case with you so far.
Yeah, she shaped me into the man I am today. I know I've said it multiple times, but I'll keep saying it because she deserves that. But all the time she's put into everything outside of the house, off the field, school, whether it's just me as a man, how I treat people, how I walk down the street, how I represent myself, or I guess just like instilling in me church and different things like that. But she's really shaped me and played a huge role and been a huge role model. in my life.
Everybody listening to this, if you guys look up any sort of interview that Jordan's ever done, he's always well put together, so well spoken. You'll hear it throughout this, but like everything that he just said, yeah, it just came from your mom. It's so amazing. She's such a great mom, and you always speak so well of her. And you were an only child too, so you really had that opportunity to kind of form that bond with her.
I did. She'd come home 6 o'clock after work, get there. She'd leave at 10, go to work, get home at 6. I'd have school, normal thing, and then we'd come after school and either in the house we do something together or even go out to the park like I said earlier. But just her willingness to go out there and play with me, and I know she went through a long day at work and she's tired, but for her to kind of say forget that and I'm going to go play with my son, enjoy this time, I think that's really special and commendable.
Oh, dude, it's amazing, man. I love hearing that too, and I'm sure all the listeners do too, because that's some good feel-good stuff, man. She is on social media too. She's one of the few people that the Arizona Diamondbacks follow on Twitter.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's a fun fact. The Lawlar family's on the Arizona Diamondbacks Twitter radar 24/7.
That's what's up. I didn't even know that. Learn something every day. Yeah.
I know, right? Hey, well, we're only like 5 minutes in, so we're off to a hot start. So maybe we'll learn a thing or two else throughout this.
Exactly, for sure.
As much as you loved baseball and you loved basketball, you also loved playing the trumpet. You learned that during your middle school years. What got you into the trumpet? Are you still playing it?
No, I'm not still playing it, but I still can. Every now and then I'll pick it up. There was a funny story one time. I was over at my friend's house. It was like a baseball team. So we went over, play some poker together. And I guess one of the games came on, it was basketball or football. And he had his old trumpet, maybe disgusting, but I cleaned off the mouthpiece and I put it in. They just kept egging me on to play the Star Spangled Banner. So I did my best. I missed a few notes, but I did pretty good at that. But that was probably a few years after middle school. So I still had it.
Dude, yeah, and that's not an easy song, man. The Star Spangled Banner. I thought you were going to go along the lines of something like the Three Blind Mice. That's what I learned playing the saxophone for all of like 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, hot cross bun, something simple.
Yeah. So you said the mouthpiece you had to clean off. Dude, if anybody listening to this or watching this knows music, they're probably going to kill me. But the reed, I know that there's reeds in like those mouthpieces, those wooden mouthpieces. Do trumpets have those?
No, we just have the metal mouthpiece that goes in, but like the reed for saxophone, clarinet, stuff like that. Supposed to switch them out every now and then. Yeah.
Cool. Now I just learned something. We're trading off these fun facts already.
Yes, we are.
So in baseball, there's so many dudes who it's like if people find out that they play an instrument, like currently, it leads to so many different, I guess you could kind of say opportunities when it comes to creating content or sponsorships or whatever. Obviously, you probably know Bernie Williams plays the guitar, still does. A bunch of pitchers play the guitar. Do you think you'll ever pick it back up, especially if you're shacked up in some of these hotels?
I don't know.
I don't know if the neighbors are going to like you. Yeah.
That's what I would say. I don't know if they want me blaring out there, but
I can say, yeah, you get the noise complaints going.
I think so. Yeah, I get some fines quickly, but it's an interesting instrument just because it's a trumpet. So it works best probably in an ensemble. The guitar you can kind of play to anything and it fits in well, but the trumpet may be an acquired taste, you could say.
Okay.
Yeah. But I would definitely play it if I still could.
There you go. In terms of also your family, your grandpa, if he's the grandpa that I'm thinking about, the dude can rock a cowboy hat.
He can. Every day. Everywhere he goes, baseball field. Yeah, anytime he leaves the house, he has one on. Has the cowboy boots, has the Wrangler jeans on, all of it. Belt buckle, yeah, all of it.
Wait, so is he as close to cowboy as it gets, you think, or what?
He's up in North Dakota, so he grew up there, and mom's from there. Half the family is, so it's in his blood. That's what he does, and he's proud of it.
So you have family in North Dakota?
I do. I have an uncle, aunt, and yeah.
Do you take a lot of family trips up there?
Normally try to go every Christmas if we can. Spend at least a month, or not a month. That'd be fun, but we don't have time for that. A week we try to go up there and spend some quality time with them. And yeah, we had fun up there. It was -39, I believe. Yeah, -39. This is the coldest I've ever seen up there. You freeze pretty quickly. I was outside for, let's say, 30 minutes playing with my cousins, and I came in and I had just snow everywhere, like the ice, like Jack Frost, just everywhere, eyebrows, all that. Yeah,
You picked a good time to grow out that goatee.
yeah. I wouldn't say so. Yeah,
If you had grown up in North Dakota instead of Dallas, your life would have been completely different.
completely different. Yeah, and they just remodeled the high school up there, so they have a turf field now. North Dakota competition versus.
Did you bring back any of your grandpa's cowboy hats with you?
I didn't. I have one from my uncle actually at my house, so that's sitting up on the computer room.
Are we going to see any on social media anytime soon?
I wouldn't say I look the worst in them, but maybe for a little Halloween something.
Hey, you never know. People might eat it up.
I think so. I think it'd be a good fit. Got to find the right person to give me a good outfit with it, but I think I could pull it off.
Hey, potential sponsorship. There was one trip that you took to New York City, and you got to go to the Bronx, 2014. Max Scherzer on the bump. You got to see your favorite player, Derek Jeter, play. What brought you out to the city? Was it that game where you were out there for a trip with your family? What brought you out there?
No, it was a quick trip with mom and her boss actually, but she took us up there for a little quick trip to see New York City. Never been up there. Went to the Hershey's, M&M, all that stuff. Kind of walked around downtown, but the game was the most important thing I wanted to see. So we went up there for that, and I had my Jeter shirt on. Still have it. A little cotton, not the best feeling, but Derek Jeter's on the front. That's all I care about.
And you had some great seats that night, too.
I did. Yeah, I got lucky. Yeah, there was a time when I went to more Yankee games than I had Ranger games over like a 5-year span. So it was pretty interesting. Yeah.
So was it after that 2014 that you went to all those games?
I think it was in that time because we had an NYBC tournament with our travel ball team, Dallas Tigers. And we were up there for that. I think they may have played the Tigers too when we went to watch them play. But yeah, that was one of them.
That's so cool when you think about it, because here you are, a young dude, you play shortstop, you got a chance to go to where Derek Jeter played a lot of his home games, actually all of his home games. Like, what could be better than that for a young kid who's playing baseball?
I can't say there is much more. Yeah.
Did you bring back any souvenirs?
Besides that shirt, I don't think so. No, just the memories, which are the most important to me. So that's what I'll take.
Wait till you get back there, man. You're going to have the chills. You're going to be looking around like, holy shit, completely different view than the last time I was here.
Yes, sir. I hope so. Can't wait to check it out. Stand where he stood for so long. Yeah.
So you're living in Texas. You go to Dallas Jesuit High School. And one of my goals tonight is to talk about the benefits and the fun times of going to an all-boys private Catholic school until my wife, who's listening to this, throws up. She hears it all the time from me and my boys, who I'm still close friends with because you formed that brotherhood. We had Jacob Berger on, man. Like he even went to the same type of high school too. But just that camaraderie and so many things that you learn from that period in your life, it's just so special. And you got the chance to do that at a great school down in Texas.
For sure. And I think you don't realize how important it is until you've gone through it. And looking from the outside, you're a teenage high school kid. You don't want to go there. For the typical one doesn't. But once you get through it and you look back, it's the bonds you build. I think they're realer. They just last longer, in my opinion. And I feel like you can be more open and really build a greater relationship with more than just, let's say, your smaller group of guys. You really bond together with the whole school.
Yeah, and in a co-ed school, you're not gonna fart or rip ass and get away with it as much. At the all boys Catholic school, dude, or private school, you could have some fun with that. It's just you and your boys.
You can be open. You can do a lot more things that you'd probably be a little more hesitant in a public school or whatever it may be.
Yeah. What's like some of your best memories from there? I'll give you an example of one of mine because this came to mind while you're talking about being negative 39 degrees in North Dakota. Not like it was that cold on the Jersey Shore at any point, but anytime that it snowed, just like even the slightest bit, everybody would scream, "The buses are here," because we knew that we always could get out of school so easily anytime there's any type of snow. It was like they're giving away off days or like they're like freebies. But what were some of yours?
There's a few, yeah. There's a couple that there was some destruction, not from our class, but the couple classes ahead of us. There's a senior courtyard we would all hang out in. And I think one time there was a putter that went flying through one of the windows, maybe.
A putter?
A putter, yeah. We had a little putting green in the back. We got lucky, but I think they shut it down for a while. Yeah. We just looked at it and there was a little spider going through the window, going to the courtyard, and they put some tape around it. Yeah. So that was one good memory. Another one would be so over like November and Christmas, we get a long break because it's the private school. It's kind of how they do it. And then we had a not a COVID, it was before COVID, but we had a flu outbreak or something like that. And we had a basketball game that we went to that night. And the whole student section of the other team had like masks on and like they were just ripped out and all their like sanitary stuff. Like they looked like doctors, and they had signs and everything made for us. It was so funny because what school shuts down for a flu? It's just
Yeah.
it was so funny.
Dude, that's the same exact type of thing. Yeah. Did you guys have a pretty good cheering section? We had the cult crazies. They were always at it.
Yeah, we did for basketball games for sure. This the couple of years ahead of us, we had some good guys. We had a guy who went to Michigan State, Max Asmus, Mad Max. But there was one we'd come out. I think it was 2019 basketball guy, and they always have their opening game little actions they do when they get introduced, and one was to roll a bowling ball into a student section. So whenever he did it, every row just fell back on each other. So it'd be like it looks so cool and it'd be so crazy, but those little things were just so special to me.
Yeah, man, I love it. And like we said at the beginning of that like little portion is that it really does help you grow up into a man and the whole entire maturation process and just learning some stuff. Everybody there is trying to go to a great college. Everybody there is trying to play a sport for the most part, or at least develop some type of skill or talent that could take them to the next level. And for you, it was baseball. And pretty early on, you knew that you were going to Vanderbilt, or at least would be playing some sort of college baseball. So dude, like when you sign up for Vanderbilt and you have like coaches and all that other stuff, scouts, people calling when you're a freshman, man, like
Mhm.
what's even going on through your head? That's pretty wild. Like you're probably one of the more
Mhm.
well known and scouted baseball players in off top of my head, or at least in recent history.
Yeah, I think behind maybe Bobby. Bobby was pretty big out of that area, but probably following him. I think just being in that location, I was lucky to have just the eyes that were able to get to Dallas. It's an easier spot to fly to and come see. And then obviously we have a lot more games there than most. So I think I was in a great spot for that. But yeah, it was special to me. Like looking back at it in the moment, it was a little stressful at times, as I'm sure you could assume, as a 14-year-old trying to take phone calls in the cafeteria with like a few different D1 coaches. It's just different. Like walking around having to just take breaks from different things, and kids are over there playing video games, Flappy Bird, all that. It's different world.
Damn, and like we said, Vanderbilt, man, that's no joke. That's one of the best academic schools, athletic schools, spots where you could go out and party and all that other stuff. So that's like the dream for a lot of kids.
Yeah, and Vanderbilt actually, I really respected it about them. Most of there's not most of the schools, but there are a few schools that would, after a few conversations, offer, and it just didn't seem very personal, and I didn't build any relationships with them really. It was very impersonal, and Vanderbilt, they took about a year, which in the time it felt like forever, but I'm only a sophomore, freshman. I haven't even played a game on varsity yet.
You're not even driving yet. Yeah, you haven't played
Yeah,
varsity baseball.
yeah, I'm not even driving. Mom's picking me up after school, so.
Yeah, you're getting
But
those
yeah,
calls from Miami and Duke and all these like great schools. Just like, dude, I got
uh-huh.
to take my permit lessons or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about, but just things like that. Vanderbilt took about a year to finally extend the offer, and Coach Baxter, Mike Baxter, he was just our relationship was super special. That along with Coach Corbin, but just the time they invested in me and the things I've learned from them over the long time that I've talked and built that relationship, it's just I'll never forget them.
Yeah, and that relationship, I can almost guarantee you is gonna go strong, even though you obviously didn't end up going there. But just like that bond that you had with them, the way that they showed you overall. I mean, you got a chance to go to the College World Series, and you even met Dak Prescott, NFL QB. Man, that's a cool showing while you're taking that trip out there.
Yeah, it is. We were trying to work some things out, and we ended up reaching out to each other, and we got it set up. But it was definitely pretty cool. A little cherry on top of the cake, or some sprinkles on top of the cupcake, to get up there and hang out with him for a little bit. But all the effort, Baxter, and then even Corbin and some of his family extended to me to get me up to that in those seats and be able to see him in Omaha was. I can't do anything but thank him for it. It was definitely a great experience.
So awesome. So now it's the 2021 MLB draft. I'm not big into rankings. I'm not big into stats. I feel like I say that every single episode.
Yeah, neither am I.
Yeah. I never even mentioned it. I will mention though that you were the top rated high school player going into the draft. So you get picked 6th overall by the Arizona Diamondbacks. At that moment in time, did you know that you would be going to the team that drafted you no matter what, as long as it was early enough, over Vanderbilt? And yeah, dude, you got the treatment that night.
I did. Yeah, there was a lot of emotions going through, mixed emotions, just with how everything shaked out in the last hour or so before the draft, and just expectations, everything like that. But yeah, once I got that call, I didn't. It was one weight off my shoulders, but obviously, I knew signing deadline was about 20 days later, so no decision was made until what I think I flew out here on the 30th, 29th, and I didn't make the decision until the 28th. So we were on the phones and we didn't have a deal. We weren't committed to the Diamondbacks until probably that Thursday night at around 11 when we flew out that next morning at 8. So
Wow,
yeah,
dude,
we
that's
didn't have
wild.
anything. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was enjoying those 3 weeks or so in there. I was playing a lot of golf actually, kind of taking a tour around Dallas, which I was enjoying. Not the best, but I can hit the ball down the course, so we were getting to enjoy it a little bit.
Well, you got some good courses down there, and that's a great way to detach also and just try to get away from the noise. I know a lot of
Yeah.
guys, they just try to do anything that day to keep them busy because you don't want to be sitting around just waiting for a name to be called. Granted, it got called early, but anything could happen. And for you, you had signed on with Vayner Sports, and if anybody knows Gary Vaynerchuk and what he's doing with all these different avenues that he's taken, VaynerBaseball is so awesome in itself. And you're one of the bright young stars on their roster right now, working with Greg and stuff. And that night that you had gotten drafted, you got the FaceTime from Gary V, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, he pulled up on me, and yeah, I was walking up some stairs, and he called, and I picked up. And then his brother AJ, he's also part of the agency. He was actually there in person, so that was cool to have everybody around me. And we were all in the back room for a long time until I got that call. Actually, yeah. So we were all sitting there watching the computer screen, and it was a pretty cool experience. I think I have some pictures of it as well.
Has he turned that conversation with you into a video himself on his end? I feel like that's something that he'd do. I'm just
he,
expecting to scroll and see your face pop up on my phone on the Gary V feed.
he normally waits probably 3 years and does like a flashback, and then
Dude, that's a good
he'll be
point.
like, "Yeah, remember this moment when I said this?" Yeah,
Yeah, dude, can you imagine that he's just
yeah,
got this like checklist of lines that he's saying so that, like you said, in 5, 10 years, or like
yeah,
say 7 All-Star games later, he could be like, "See, I said I was gonna make he's gonna make at least 6 the day that he got drafted," and then hear
yeah,
that noise that he does.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
In all seriousness, though, is that one of the swing points in signing with them, or at least being represented by them? Because that is kind of cool, you know. Like he's all over social media. Was that one of the like selling points to joining them? I know Greg's a great guy, but and Katie, thank you, Katie. I
Mm-hmm.
know you're listening or
Yeah.
watching this. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do. Thanks for setting it up for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have Brandon. We have lots of guys behind the scenes, guys and girls. But yeah, I mean, that was obviously kind of the a main point, that you have this social media presence, his following, with his reach, what he can do compared to what other agencies and their reach has, especially on social media with his millions of followers. And then you can look at some of the agencies following, and obviously doesn't really compare. But that was definitely a point. And then getting to know Greg and the guy he is and the amount of work he's willing to do for you, I think that really put it over the edge as well. And then can't forget Vernon Wells. He's been there for me as well. So
Yeah, Vernon Wells, MLB vet. The dude is obviously retired now, but he had a great career. He's an awesome person to learn from. And as I
mhm.
was doing my research, I actually came across his Instagram page, and I've talked back and forth, and I've met his dad, who's an awesome artist. You guys got to check out Vernon Wells Senior's work. But yeah, dude. So me and Vernon actually connected this week on Instagram after I was doing my research on you. I was like, dude, this is wild, and it's just so
That's
cool to
what's
learn
up.
about your
Yeah.
relationship with him.
Yeah. So we've spent a lot of time together in the cages. on the field. Definitely learning a lot from him. Just I like to learn from guys with a lot of experience and guys that have been there. I think that was also another reason why I went with him, because it's not often that you get a guy that's been there and done that at a high level for a very long time.
And the investment that he shows in you too. The dude was watching when you got introduced as a member of the Diamondbacks, man. Like, not everybody's taking the time to do that type of stuff.
And then his proximity to me as well. So the time we were just able to be so close together, and I think that it's just special, and I really appreciate that. Another big point on top of that, going back, obviously you have Gary Vee at the top of it, but the different things I was hearing them say and the things they'd be able to do marketing wise, and with his reach, I think they were going to change the game a little bit. And there's definitely some ideas in the works that I think will be pretty special. And I think that's what was really a main separator of them.
Just the other day, I was talking to my buddy JB. He's over at Octagon Sports with the Octagon baseball team. And I was talking to him. I was like, as much as I know a lot of guys in the big leagues and have relationships with dudes for over 10 years now, and just like go back and forth one-on-one all the time, text message, DM, whatever you want to call it. A couple of guys that he had gotten me introduced to, one specifically, I had no relationship at all, but he made the connection and he didn't have to do that. So I thanked him. And then I was thinking, I was like, man, outside of like JB and outside of Katie, it's very rare that you get a rep who like actually responds to a lot of different things. Cause I'm sure they get a lot of emails, but the fact that they know the importance of stuff like this, and also looking out for you guys too, because they of course have to weed through the good and the bad, but like just the fact that they do that type of stuff is, I think it's important, because like you said, the social media, the reach, the offerings they have. So like what he is offering and his team, that's not everywhere.
No, it's not. Yeah. And just there's so much work that people don't see from behind the scenes. And people like Katie and all of them, they've worked so hard. And I'm just so appreciative that they can handle all that. And I can go handle my stuff on the field, and we can come together and we can make things like this work, and whatever may come down the road. But yeah, they make my job a lot easier. And yeah, there's much to be thankful for there.
Who set up that trip to the Arizona Diamondbacks ballpark when you got introduced and you met Albert Pujols? You went home with 2 bats.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have to thank for that?
Justin Turner will be one for the Pujols connection there. Friday, we flew out that morning. I was on the phone on the plane. We actually had plane troubles, something with the engine. So we had to deplane. Then they had to bring a new plane, get on that plane. And in the time I had between those, I called my uncle and aunt and then grandpa and grandma in North Dakota. And I asked them, he said, how quickly can you guys get down to Arizona? I'm going to sign tomorrow. So they changed all their plans and they got on a plane. Ian figured that out for us, and they were able to be there on the field with me, all that. So we really got to thank him. And then, yeah, it was crazy. Put us up in a nice place, and we just, great experience.
Yeah, I saw Grandpa even roll up in a cowboy hat for that.
Always, like I was saying.
Did Pujols or any of the guys be like, yo, who's the new boss in town when they saw him?
They were probably thinking it. Nah, I don't know.
How cool is that, though, man? Albert Pujols, one of the best players in baseball history. He's definitely a favorite growing up for sure, watching. I'm sure for you too, but you went home with a couple souvenirs from him.
Yeah, and just so unexpected. And then I was just in awe, honestly. I was joking around with him because he gave me those bats, and he said he tried to find the lightest ones for me. And I threw a little jab back at him. I was like, all right, I see how it is, Albert. But yeah, I appreciate it. And he's got some bigger barrels on those bats. So he may have a little advantage. I think he's earned it, though. I was looking up at the scoreboard, and I think he debuted maybe a year before I was born. So I think he's definitely earned it.
Did you joke around with him about that?
No, I didn't notice that until later, but yeah, I don't think I would. Nah.
Yeah, I know, right? So were either of those 2 bats, were they signed? Did you go home with any signed gear, jerseys, or anything outside of what you got? Did Justin Turner throw you anything?
No, but yeah, Albert actually just pulled them out of the, I guess, travel bag. They had pine tar on it and everything too, like on the outside of the bag, and he just threw them over there. So they were zipped up, air sealed, all that.
Wow. Okay. So that night, the Diamondbacks had tweeted, it's Lawlar Palooza. So if you had 5 people that you could go out and party with and have a good time, from the baseball world. It could be players who you've met or haven't met just yet, but they have to be alive. You get that one night out in Arizona after a game. Let's say an all-star game, so it could be from any team.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I'd say let's go Correa, just because he's one of my favorites. Maybe Mookie, a couple guys on the team. Maybe Alec Thomas. I got to think about that one. We'll come back to that. I got to find two other guys. Yeah, we got to think about that.
In 2021, you have your debut, obviously cut short because of injury. Something that I love that I saw on Twitter was that you're holding up your first hit ball and your jersey is dirty. Dude, you play with a lot of heart. You play with hustle.
Yeah.
You have fun. That's what people love to see.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yeah. And credit to that one was actually our AZL coach, Cody Ransom. He was like, I got to get a picture for your mom. I got to get a picture for your mom. So he was taking some, I have a few, he's taking some from the dugout of me out in the field. I'm going out there. And then at the end of the game, he was like, I got to get a picture. So he got that for me. So thank you to him. But yeah, it was a fastball down the middle, low, turned out, or actually didn't turn, I hit down the line, double. But yeah, the dirty came from, I tagged up and went to third, slid head first. Had to get a little dirty for the guys.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, it was, I think a stolen base maybe. The hit, a couple plays in the field. Yeah, so I did a little bit of everything, RBI.
You went with the quality over quantity approach in the debut.
I did. Yeah.
That picture is awesome on Twitter. And then there's another picture that I wanted to pull up. For anybody who's listening to this and not watching, we got a young Jordan. The dude is swagged out. He's got the shades on. He's sitting down on the bench. Check out this stud, man. How old are you? What age is this?
I don't even know. I had to be probably 9 or 10. Yeah, I'll go 9 or 10.
9 or 10, my God. This is like,
I think those are the Under Armour shades, huh?
It looks like it. And actually,
Yeah.
so this was like 2 years probably before you signed with Vandy. this kid.
Oh, man. Those are some good glasses. I always held off from glasses because I thought they made my depth perception. They affected that, but I finally put them on. It was my first pair.
Yeah, I can't stop looking at that picture, man. That is crazy. This is the same dude, everybody.
Yeah, it's crazy. A little chubbier.
Weren't we all? So your mom, she says, with adversity comes great things. Dude, so yeah, you get hurt. This is one of those challenges, obstacles that you've overcome on your way to a great career. So were you able to kind of take that situation well? And I say that because it, like, looking at the track record, it's like great. Bump in the road. What do we do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I went in one day and we ended up getting it set up for an MRI. I just thought it was a little sore shoulder, and they wanted to be extra careful, which makes sense. I just got out there. They just drafted me, so I respected that, and they pulled me off the field, and they sent me to get an MRI real quick. And that next day, we went in for the doctor visit, and the shoulder just did not look like it did 3 weeks ago when I did the draft physical. So I knew something was a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. And then once they said surgery, it was tough. There was some heartbreak in there because I feel like I let a lot of guys down, a lot of people down. I was playing really well at that time. I was hitting amazing coming off that break from high school, and I was just enjoying it, getting my feet wet, and I couldn't wait to hopefully move up that maybe off season, or not off season, at the end of the year. Who knows? I want to get out to an affiliate, and there's just a lot going through my mind. And I sat down with a couple of our guys here, and he talked me through it and what the options were, the timetable, all that. And I just had to accept it. So I accepted it and flipped the page and said, it's over. It is what it is. And it's technically had a good time. And September, into the season, there's a couple weeks left. What am I going to really miss in the long term of things? Hopefully I have, looking off it from maybe looking back 1 year, 15-year career. What's a couple weeks of games missed? It's not that big of a deal. So we looked at it from that perspective, and kind of flipped my mindset on it.
It's like you get faced with these challenges that you never expect coming, and you're almost grateful for them at the end of the day, because when you get through them successfully, it's a win for you. And then that helps with your mindset moving forward. And yeah, I think that this is one of those examples. So when the next one comes, who knows what that challenge will be, but you will have the experience and you will be ready and prepared as much as you possibly can, or know that you have gotten through that injury and can get through another one, or whatever it is that it may be. It could be something personal, but I agree wholeheartedly with what your mom said.
Exactly. Yeah. And then even now, the time that I've been here, I've just really lucky that I've been able to spend so much time with the even big league staff, and just getting to know them, getting to know how they work, the different ideas of how to take care of your body, building a routine. All that stuff is really big. And it's good to be around this environment, be around a professional environment with people that kind of have the same goals and motivations as you.
You said that perfectly, man. Dude, it's crazy, man. I would have thought you were like 30 or something.
I hear that
Your
a
mom
lot.
did a great job. And you mentioned too, like guys and people who are in great shape and all this other stuff and keeping you on your toes and everything. One of my boys I came across too in your
Yeah.
tagged photos, Austin Jackson.
Oh
You got a
yeah.
chance to meet him. Yo,
Yeah.
I messaged him right after. I was like, dude, you got me pumped. You're jacked
He's
up. The
he
dude's
is.
like getting after it. He told me he's gotta make sure that he keeps the little man under control. But dude, he's ripped, man. When I saw him in the picture, I was like, God damn, what have you been doing?
I saw him in person. That's what I thought. I remember watching him on TV running around the outfield, and then he comes up to one of the games, and I look at him like that's not the same guy. Yeah, he was in a good way, but he was big.
And you know what? He actually had a very similar situation to you when it comes to getting scouted early. When he was just a kid, like little kid, he had a Yankee scout at one of his games, and so he'd been under the spotlight for such a long time, and obviously a top prospect too. So I know you got your boy Vernon, but Austin Jackson, I'm sure is or could be a great resource for you to fall back on when it comes to advice or whatever. Ajax, I'm sorry if you're listening to this. I'm just offering you up as a shoulder to lean on. But dude, I'm telling you, man, he's one of the best dudes in baseball who I've ever met, and he's always been good to me, man.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, no doubt.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if he was on that 2014 Tigers roster when they were playing the Yankees. He might have been.
I was a little distracted by the shortstop. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a little distracted by Jeter. Yeah. So also on the social media side, looking at your photos and just like really digging deep, dude. How often do you get tagged or that you get that notification and it's your, I believe it's a Bowman, Topps
No.
Bowman card, the one of you batting, dude. Does
Uh,
everybody have one, or is they just like to show them off? What is it?
I don't know. There's so many DMs and just mentions, and I mean, I'm happy to be in a position, of course, but yeah, it blows up on that stuff. Yeah.
Dude, it's nuts. Talk about like a welcome to baseball type of sign.
Yeah. And there's some cool ones out there I didn't even know existed. So honestly, sometimes it's a good thing. Yeah.
Have you gotten a chance to save any for yourself, or when they send you some, you get to keep any? Does your mom have some? Does your grandpa, your uncle, are there Jordan Lawlar cards hanging out in North Dakota somewhere?
Not yet, but hopefully we can work something out and find a few to pass around the family. Yeah.
And how has that experience been? Just kind of like, because then there's the signed cards, of course, too. So just like
Mhm.
sitting there and stuff like that. Does it take you back to the homework days at Dallas Jesuit?
I mean, actually, I'm taking school right now too, so it takes me back to that. But yeah, I got to do that. And, it's a little more exciting doing that. Takes me back to the USA days when they took us in a room and we'd have to sign however many thousand cards. Yeah, but I enjoy it. It's fun.
That's so cool. That's one of my goals one of these days is to do a video with one of my boys who's just
Mhm.
like signing the stack, because I would just love to see and know how many thoughts goes through one's head while signing a stack of 1,000 baseball cards. And also too, just the fact of a video. Like how long does something like that take?
I've gotten efficient. Like I've had different methods for if it's a card or like a stack of signatures. But let's see. There was one where it was 150, I think, per sheet. I was able to knock it out in what 9, 10 minutes. I was trying to time myself, got some music
Wow.
on, and yeah. So that was more the stickers, and then cards take obviously longer because you got to move them all. But you try to figure out different positions and whatever you can do to blow the time by a little faster.
Dude, nice job on the sticker book. That's pretty
Yeah,
impressive. 9, 10
yeah.
minutes.
Try to get through it. Try to get through it.
Yeah. So also on the social media side, you teamed up with the Players Alliance, Edwin Jackson, former MLB player. You're not only having this presence on social media in baseball, but you're also making an impact from a
Yeah.
social level. So how much involvement have you had with them? And I'd imagine that you're going to probably be with them for at least your duration of your career at the least, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I hope to get out to a few more events, but that just kind of happened spur of the moment. And they asked me if I could come down, and I was more than happy to, because at the end of the day, that's more important to me than anything I could ever do on the field. Try to make a difference in the world, and I think that should be for most people. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I was able to get down there, kind of answer a few questions for some of the local high school kids. We were able to give some baseball bats, baseball supplies out to these kids, and just kind of steer them in the right direction in life and on the baseball field. But definitely enjoy it and hope that I can get back out there with Edwin and a few other guys.
I was talking to Tristan McKenzie about something like this along these same lines, and it was how the kids looked up to him and were inspired by him, and he was looking at the kids who were motivating him. The kids not knowing how motivating that they were to him, but it's almost like this reciprocated type thing, right? So it's like you have all these kids who you're talking to while you're doing the event for Players Alliance. They're looking up to you, but also at the same time, it's like, man, these kids, they're motivating me to play. They're motivating me to back up my words when I'm saying in front of them. So for you, has that been a kind of realization for yourself?
I think it may take a few more years to see that, just to see a little more impact of it. But just to have that opportunity to be out there and to have them give me their time and to just be willing to ask those questions and want to learn to get better. And I think that's the biggest thing. I just like the motivation I see in some of the kids. And that just makes me look back at who I was at maybe 14, 15. And I can see a little bit of myself in them, which is inspiring in itself.
Perfect segue, man. Inspiring, motivating. You want to get better. I saw the retweet, the John Gordon retweet, one of the best authors out there in that field. I've DM'd with him back and forth a couple times. Hopefully, we'll have him on the show sometime soon. But Josh Bell, he was a guy who went to your high school, plays in the big leagues right now. He kind of got you onto that reading and everything. Was that one of the authors that Josh Bell had put you on?
Not exactly, but just he put me more. He gave me a few books, but he put me more into the mindset of really trying to work on bettering yourself every day and not wasting time. Not wasting time, but like in the car, you're in the car for 15 minutes. Maybe find a podcast instead of listening to some music. And there's always some time to have fun and leisure time, but I mean, you don't want to waste life and waste time. So there's only a finite amount of it. So make the most of it and try to better yourself every day.
Dude, you have been listening, man. I love it. I could hear it. I could hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John Gordon, though, man, like he's awesome too. I think somewhere on the shelf to the right of me there, at least like 5 or 6 John Gordon books. I'd given one of them. I haven't gotten it back yet. So Chris Archer, if you're listening to this, man, The Carpenter, one of the best books out there, man, by John Gordon.
I will. Yeah. No, I always need more books. I'm always looking because I just kind of got into another kick of a few like mental mindset books, which I'm really enjoying right now. I'll always take an extra book to read.
Dude, yes, sir. Big time. All right. Before you shoot out your social media platforms, have you thought of the 2 other players who would be at the Lawlar Palooza?
I think we'll throw Derek in there. I think
All right, Derek Jeter.
father time, but it's all right. But we'll throw it. Might as well. Might as well throw him in there. And the other one, I need somebody young. Maybe Acuna. I don't know. Yeah, maybe throw Acuna in there.
Ooh,
Could be
there
fun.
you go. All right, so you got all 5.
Oh, and maybe Tatis. We'll throw Tatis in there too.
All right, so now you're going 6. All right, you're getting out of hand.
Yeah.
This party's going to be crazy, man. There's going to be 0 sleeping.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
All my guys who I have come on, when we talk about their current career or past career, a common trend is that they all say, and this sounds cliche, but they all say it goes by too fast, even the most successful ones. And this goes for anything that you do in life. They all say that it goes by too fast. And if there's anything that they could do, it's to slow time down, just slow down a little bit and have fun and just relax. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to go so fast. So from all of them collectively, through me to you, that would, and again, that's mainly them saying, I'm not a baseball player, of course, by any means, but that's my only piece of advice or thing that I would want to share with you from collectively a group of 20 big leaguers, all-stars, current and former, that they've all said that one same thing.
Yeah, I'll take that and run with it. Just getting started, but there's a lot more time to enjoy. I look forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, even down to when you step in a batter's box and you're digging your feet in, just like listen to the crunch. Like, I know you got to be in the zone and stuff, but take that second to kind of look around and realize how far you've made it, how special of life that you've created, and how many people that you're impacting on such a large scale.
For sure. Yeah. I even look back on high school. I feel out the same way there. Just the high school baseball games. There's only so many I had. And yeah, just looking back on them, I miss those times. And I'm sure I'll miss this career whenever it's time to hang up those cleats.
But until then, dude, you're gonna be posting more pictures of milestone hits. So I'm excited for you, and I want everybody to be able to follow along your journey, man. So where could everybody follow you on social media? Just shoot out all your handles.
Yeah, so all of them, I made them simple. Jordan Lawlar, Jordan, and then Lawlar, Lawlar. A lot of people mess up the ARER, but AR. So that's Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. All of them.
Yes, sir. And switch it up. Maybe not so many tags on the baseball cards. Let's see them out in public.
Exactly.
Dude, you're the man. I appreciate it. And yeah, thank you. And we'll hop on over to the bonus content next. But I appreciate you hopping on. Keep swinging, brother.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I appreciate it. Change up the questions a little bit.